Hi, it's Mrs. Michaels from Modella. Today is our first Test Prep Wednesday, and I wanted to take a moment to kind of show you what's going to be on the geometry exam that is going to be coming up this spring. So, this is a state test, and it is a test that helps you earn those points towards graduation that you may need for graduation. And again, if you have any questions on graduation, check with your engagement coach or your guidance counselor. They can let you know exactly what you need for graduation and what the different pathways are because they do seem to change each year. But here is what this class is designed for. It is designed to get you ready to take this geometry exam. It's the end of course exam. And you can see here there are some state standards, and you can look up each of these standards if you want to. But it kind of gives you the strategy, not strategy, the category over here. So you can see congruence and proof. So that's going to talk about triangle congruence. This is the first standard we've been talking about, this G.CO.1. That's making sure you know the vocabulary for line, point, plane, angle, that standard we've been working on. That falls right here. And you can see that's in the congruence and proof category. And that counts towards 33 to 39% of the test. So it's a large portion of the test. What else is going to fall into this category is kind of the next few things we're going to be talking about with congruence with triangles, proving they're congruent, proofs in general, proving things about triangles, transversals is going to fall in here as well. So, a lot of these first few things we're talking about in Geometry A are going to fall into this category of congruence and proof. So again, that makes up 33 to 39% of your test because it kind of varies a little bit each year. So it'll be up like 19 to 21 points. The next biggest category is similarity and trigonometry. We'll talk about those towards the end of Geometry A. Those are those sine, cosine, tangent, talk about similar figures, similar circles, so that's going to take up, again, the next largest part, 23 to 35%, or 13 to 19%. Circles. So circles, we're going to talk about in Geometry B. We also come back in Geometry B and talk a little bit more about congruence and proof when we talk about parallelograms and those kind of things. Those fit into congruence and proof. But circles, we start Geometry B talking about some circles and proving that they're congruent. And then at the end of Geometry B, we talk about probability. And again, that is 10 to 12 points, or about 18 to 22% of your exam. So the exam does usually end up being about 54 to 56 points. And notice over here on the side, it does tell you modeling and reasoning, which kind of fits into each of these different categories. There's modeling as part of congruence when we talk about figures and reasoning with proof. All of that makes up a minimum of 20% of your test. So if you're wondering why we do a lot of the proof, it teaches you reasoning skills, teaches you modeling skills, helps you form some arguments, whether it's in math or other subjects. So I want to make sure you knew that. Also, it does give you kind of an idea here. Oops, let me back that up. On the depth of knowledge of each of these. So how hard are the questions? So level 1 is recall, basic recall. So those are 8 to 16 points. Level 2 is a little bit deeper recall and reasoning skills. That's the 25 to 40 points. And level 3 is that really deep knowledge of completely understanding it. And that is 8 to 16 points on the test. So you'll see most of the points come kind of in the middle there. They're medium questions asking you to do just a smidge more than recall, not knowing, just knowing a definition, but be able to apply that definition. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of it. This is what we're going to be focusing on the whole class, but in particular on Wednesdays when we do test prep Wednesdays. We're going to be looking at some of the questions that are released questions, which you can see here. Here's kind of an example of some of the released questions in geometry. You can see what they look like. These are the type of questions you're going to get to see on that exam. You can see these are kind of the standard that we've been talking about. And the test questions and the quiz questions are going to be very similar to these type of questions. Again, so you're used to answering these questions when you get to the state exam. All right, one of the other tools that we're going to use is the practice test from the state. So let me pull that up here. We're going to be doing that towards the end of the year, right before you actually take the exam. And let me pull it up here. Here is the practice site. And you'll see we'll go in there and it's going to look exactly like what you're going to see when you go in to take the test when you are at the testing site. So we'll talk about what that's going to look like as well. The other thing that we're going to be doing on Test Prep Wednesdays is going over some testing skills as well. Like really practicing using Desmos because that is one of the activities or one of the items that you're given when you go to take the test. You can absolutely use Desmos to help you. All right. So that's kind of a brief intro into what these Test Prep Wednesdays are going to be. So if you have any problems or questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow in class on Thursday.